We have plenty more to do tonight, and I'm not going to pull any. I'm not going to waste any more time. We're just going to jump right into it. So I will see you guys in just a few seconds. Let's get it all kicked off.
Oh yeah, they having a good ass time. I'm just about to jump off, bro. I'm just about to jump off, kill myself, and fuck their whole day up, nigga.
You let one ant stand up to us, then they all might stand up. Those puny little ants outnumber us 100 to 1. And if they ever figure that out, there goes our way of life. It's not about food. It's about keeping those ants in line. That's why we're going back. Does anybody else want to stay? Let's ride!
Doobie 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 ding, dingle doo, dingle dingle dee. Hey, by the way, everybody, it's just me and you tonight. I asked my buddy Vinny to come by. He's actually out of the state. Matt is in Chicago. Mike Baldwin couldn't even come by tonight. He actually has a gig tonight, and he said, "Oh, I can call from the car." I said, "No, don't. Just chill. It's all right." Sal couldn't come by tonight. I put it out there. I put the feelers out. Maybe I forgot a few people. And I have to build up the Rolodex and really start getting on top of that a little bit more. But it's all right because we have plenty to do. And you guys stepped up so big last night with all the comments and all of the calls. I'm going to need them again tonight. And I'm not coming here without anything to throw in your lap, my friends. I have plenty to give you as far as topics go. Here's one for you. Did you guys hear about Uber? Hold on, let me put it up on the screen for you. Uber has announced a feature that allows women to select female preference for riders and for drivers. Okay, so everybody's always very, very, we have to protect the women, until... But what about this? I think it's a great feature that everybody should have. I think that everybody should be able to reject riders and drivers. Everybody should have that feature for all the same reasons. We all make snap judgments, don't we? Whatever. Let it be. Let it be. That's all I have to say about this. What do you think about it? It's causing quite a stir for whoever's paid attention to it. Uber announced a women's preferences on Wednesday that would allow women drivers and riders in the U.S. to only be connected with other women. Okay, so it's about excluding men, right? Because we're creeps. We're creeps. The pilot program will begin the next few weeks. Oh man, if I was an Uber driver, I would get creepier. I would have like snarls on my face. I would actually twist my face into. I don't know what I would do. I don't know if it was. I would have to try to. I would practice faces. Every rider I had. Obviously, I would not be very serious about the money I would be making. I'd probably have very low ratings, but I wouldn't be creepy in like a crossing boundaries kind of standpoint. But I would try to twist my face and create different characters. I would have different accents. I would have a different backstory every time somebody got into the car. That would be really fun, and I bet you a lot of people already do that. In fact, are you an Uber driver who role plays that way? That's an interesting show. There's got to be at least somebody. It's the most obvious thing. Wasn't obvious to me until right now. Then again, I'm not an Uber driver, so this I was waiting for this story over here to prompt it. Give me a call if you use Uber to have fun with different identities, even if it's just to pass the time. And has it led to any interesting places? Let's see here. The company does not yet have a launch date for other U.S. cities. So this is starting in Los Angeles, San Francisco, and Detroit, where the men are real creeps. Across the U.S., women riders and drivers have told us that they want the option to be matched with other women on trips. So do I. We've heard them, and now we're introducing new ways to give them even more control over how they ride and drive. For the first time in the U.S., we're launching women's preferences, features designed to give women riders and drivers more choice. Choice is key. The company previously launched the women rider preference feature in other countries, allowing women in 40 countries to request female riders. The program has launched first in Saudi Arabia in 2019. Overwhelmingly positive response. What do you think about that? Women riders must verify their own gender on the app to access the new feature. That'll be interesting. When selecting a ride, they will see women drivers as an on-demand option, along with existing options such as Uber XL, Uber Black, Comfort. What the hell is Uber Black? Siri? What the fuck is Uber Black? Premium service, global, really the most luxurious option of service, superior quality for other Uber services. What does that mean? Like limousines? XL, so I guess that it's big cars. Uber Black would be like what? It would be like Lexus, Mercedes, luxury cars? That didn't tell me. Gimme, quick. Luxury vehicles. It's designed for riders seeking a more refined, comfortable ride. Those definitely get the happy endings at the end. And a squirt of Lagerfeld. After your hand job, you get a spritz of Lagerfeld in your face. And then, of course, one of those decorative almond sacks. Those little sheer sacks that they put all like the candied almonds that you get at weddings. Here you go. A little bit of Lagerfeld or Tom Ford, something like that. A little spritzer in the face. I'm learning new things all the time. Although it's not guaranteed, the company said riders and drivers can toggle on the women preference in there. I'm sure there'll be plenty of toggling and scissoring, app settings, and to increase the chances of being matched with another woman. Incredible. A credible night. Fantastic night. What do you guys think about this? Huh? Here's some comments for you that, I mean, I think it's a pretty big win for guys, if you ask me. If you could just better drivers, a little bit less yapping, although you would have less lollipops. When we were in Los Angeles, at least in 2 occasions, because we took those are the first Ubers I ever got into in LA, and we were driven around by some very nice young ladies, and they all had. It was almost like getting into a woman's Uber ride out there for us, at least for the 2 times we were in there. They were almost like going to a pediatrician's office. You got a sticker, you got a lollipop, and it was nice. I'm sure that the guys are not doing that. So, I don't know. There's going to be a trade-off here. Here's some of the comments that people are leaving. What if the men identify as a woman? I guess that's the most obvious. Men should be allowed to request only women as well. Somebody else says, can men avoid women drivers? Fair is fair. I think everybody should be able to just, you know what? With all these dating apps, I mean, a car ride is pretty intimate. Say, oh, come on. How intimate is the average taxi ride? I don't know. But you're spending time with somebody, you're placing your life in their hands, and whatever. You have an opportunity to hail a cab and then say no thank you if something just doesn't look or smell right. So you think about these dating apps where everybody's swiping one direction or another. Why the hell can't you just, why can't there be a buffer? Like, is there any kind of a way where a person I guess not. I guess a driver needs to be able to say, I'll take the ride before the rider can then either accept or reject them. So there's no way that they cannot know they've been rejected. But whatever. What the hell's the problem? Let everybody reject everybody. What's the issue? They're going to say it all comes down to race. Anything else, that's the issue there. They say it's going to have immense racial impacts. Let's take a call. 480, you're on the air. Are you an Uber driver who role plays?
No, but I'm an Uber rider all the time. Frank, it's Rose. Rosie.
Rosie, what's up? You said you're an evil rider?
No, Uber rider.
Whoa, I don't know where I got evil from. Okay,
no,
sorry.
I mean, I might be. I guess it depends on how much they like me. I have many opinions about this. First off, I just tagged you in Discord. Lyft already does this, and it's called Women Plus Connect. And when you sign up with Lyft, it's been this way for about 2 or 3 years, like ever since the bullshit Me Too stuff. They call it Women Plus Connect, and you're auto opted in to be matched with women and non-binary drivers. And so
non-binary. Okay, so you're being matched with men anyway.
Right. Exactly. But okay, so I have many opinions about this, but I don't know why this is new, like why it's a big deal. Maybe I missed something because the Lyft does it, but maybe people didn't pay attention.
I guess Uber is the predominant name. It's got to be the biggest one. So
yeah. Well, there's not only that, people abuse it. I have a lot of stuff to say about non-English speaking drivers, which that runs rampant out here in Arizona, and it's a safety hazard, to be fair. I mean, it really is, because there's no way to communicate with somebody that doesn't speak a lick, unless, like if you're in an accident or they take the wrong turn or whatever. I've had that happen many times. I've actually just gotten in the car, realized that they didn't speak English, and then just canceled the ride, because I can't, I'm just done with it.
You canceled the ride you've canceled the ride while you're sitting in the back seat, just said, let me out.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, like we didn't go anywhere. Like I said, hello. And then she said, no habla inglés. And I said, oh, no, thank you. I'll find someone else. And then I just, but at that point I had already had enough with bad experiences with people that spoke zero English, that I just was done. Also, I had noticed that a lot of non-English speaking drivers will mark themselves as hard of hearing, deaf or hearing impaired.
Oh yeah, that's great.
So that way they way they don't have to speak with people.
Yeah. Because they don't have to speak with people, and they also can't hear the ambulance that's about to T-bone them. Right.
Correct.
Okay, so it's so ridiculous.
Go ahead.
No, it's that's ridiculous that anybody who's hard of hearing should even be allowed to transport people.
Oh, I have a horror story with that. When my very first Tesla ride was with a completely deaf dude, and don't forget, I mean, why would you remember? But anyway, I'm legally blind.
I know that.
So you just don't remember.
I do know that.
It's hear no evil, see no evil with me. I'm with a deaf driver. They're trying to talk to me, and I'm trying to tell them that they want to communicate on their phone. So he's not using his hands. You could put Teslas into self-drive, but I don't care. It doesn't matter. He's texting and wants me to read his notepad or whatever. And I'm trying to tell him that I can't see it. And he keeps turning around and trying to I don't know, talk. I don't even know if that's what you would call it, but they use their hands a lot. Meanwhile, he can't hear it, but there's alarms going off in the car, that he's, I don't know, some sort of sensors or something like that. It was crazy.
Wait. So he actually was hard of hearing, this one guy.
Yeah, he literally was deaf, totally deaf.
Come on. That's ridiculous.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, with the English speaking thing, I texted a friendly state senator and said, is there something that we can do in the Arizona legislature where we like mandate English speaking? Like, I don't care if they speak 7 languages. I don't give a shit if English is like the 3rd or 2nd or 4th. Just freaking know the language. If you're going to provide a service, it's a safety hazard to not know it.
Yes.
And he's interested, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, no, it is. Yeah, especially when it comes to reading all kinds of signs, whether it be electronic pop-up signs, if there's any kind of a detour or anything other than standard signs that I'm sure people would, whatever. But also as a personal safety thing, and at the very least, it's just absolutely impolite to speak in foreign languages in front of people who don't know what you're saying. Very impolite.
Correct.
You sitting in the back seat, they can be talking bullshit about you or God knows what else. It should not be allowed. If you don't speak the language, just stay silent.
Exactly. I mean, back to the women thing. I know that's like where this started. I just want somebody that passes background checks. I don't give it. I didn't realize that Lyft had opted me in. Like, it just default opts people into like non-binary and whatever, and women plus whatever. As soon as I saw that, I turned that shit off. But like, I don't care as long as I get to where I'm going safely, because I can't drive. I have to rely on other people to get me there, and I'm hoping that these companies rely on or, care about merit. But to be fair, they don't. They don't give a crap about things like driving records. They want blind people driving. They want deaf people driving. Let's get everybody that doesn't speak English, and then not even, when really safety is ultimately that should be number one. Well, but it falls into the category of everything else, where, whatever you can check off gets prioritized, and, that's it.
Well, Rosie, thanks for the call, because this is I didn't know it was that bad.
It's horrible.
I see this and I roll my eyes. Listen, I put feminism at the center of a lot of it, and feminism is just an offshoot of Marxism. It's all about about stripping away standards, and of course making everything very female centric. So they go with they try to deliver all this stuff through female sensibility and maternalism and trying to provide for people who are disadvantaged. But when you're talking about the disadvantaged being a blind or a deaf person, there is no circumstance in which they should be operating machinery that can hurt themselves or passengers. The fact that was already allowed is mind-boggling to me. But I don't take Ubers or Lyfts, so I don't know what the hell bullshit has been allowed. But that's crazy. Thanks for the call. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Take care. Bye.
That sounds like the basis for what would have been an outrageous Saturday Night Live bit where you have a blind person and a deaf person in a taxi. Who's the driver? I guess the deaf person has the upper hand to a degree, but damn. Here's some more comments on the Uber thing. And this gets into everything else here. This gets into the modern dating thing, everybody, which goes right into the birth rate collapse thing that we were talking about last night. Clay says, how does Uber plan on meeting the demands for the number of female drivers that will be requested? Oh, I'm with you. There's a lot there. There's so much to chew up on this one. I don't know. And you say, is this going to be a lawsuit kind of a thing? Is anybody going to jump on this? And how long is it going to be allowed? Hey, me personally, I think everybody should be able to swipe right or left on everything. Okay? Everybody should be able to. But as we were talking about last night, it's very clear that only certain demographics of people are allowed to have that privilege to be around people that they want to be around. And there is a progressive stack. There is a hierarchy that has been artificially created and mandated and enforced by central powers. That's what we've been talking about. Let's take another call. 503, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Frank, hello. This is Problematic Todd.
Hey, Todd. Hey, I played a voicemail from you last night, right?
On the show? I don't know if you did. I missed it, but I've left you a couple.
Yeah, I think I played one for you. Anyway, it's good to hear your voice again. Go ahead.
Hey, this topic, it gave me a thought. What would happen if Candace Owens requested a female Uber driver and Brigitte Macron showed up behind the wheel?
Oh, I know.
Can you imagine the fireworks that would ensue?
Well, she can't. Well, first of all, she wouldn't. I don't think Candace Owens would say, I don't want to take her. I don't think she would say that. Maybe she would try to reject on the fact, or not show up on the fact that she claims that she's a man, so she's not going to pick her up and just try to make us think that way. But I can see her just taking it and making it an awkward ride, to be honest. But yeah, that is one hell of a dilemma, one hell of a matchup.
It would be a conundrum. It would be a conundrum. And would she demand a blood test on site before she'd allow the ride to begin? I mean, would fisticuffs ensue? I don't know, Frank. It's just.
It's a finger.
God only knows.
It's a finger prick and a urine test to be able to get into Candace Owens' Uber. So anyway, good one, Todd.
All right, Frank. Have a good one, sir.
Take it easy. Take it easy. Let's roll it into this one now, because I want to get around to other things, some summary topics as well. Let's roll it into this. Now, you see all this stuff going on here with, women, we just need to be able to stay away from men, and creepiness this, creepiness that. There's obviously, there's never an instance where men want to stay away from people too. Of course, we've been made the most hated people in society. But I want to bring this up because it goes into other areas when it comes to human relations, especially dating. So let's go here. Here's the one for you, a headline you may have or not seen. College students are using no contact orders. No contact orders. Essentially like restraining orders to block each other in real life. Originally meant to protect victims of sexual harassment or assault on campus, NCOs have become the go-to solution for a generation uncomfortable with face-to-face conflict. I can't imagine how that's being employed, and who are the ones that are petitioning for NCOs to be able to not be around people. I can't imagine. And I want to hear you guys about this. I want to hear you about this because I want to. I don't know. This is part of a much larger problem between the sexes, I believe, in this country at the moment, especially in this country. And it all ties into that main cultural element behind the birth rate collapse we were talking about. There's environmental ones there too. But it really does. It really does. At least even the perception of who is safe around whom. And that leads us to this one. Here's another one from the New York Post. Why single men aren't approaching women in person anymore. I'm so sick of this, is the quote. Let's see here. Let's see. In today's digital dating world where single people would often rather meet in a potential suitor online, one of the main complaints, particularly from women, is that people rarely approach someone they're interested in person anymore. A North Carolina model who said she hasn't been on a date in almost a year blames her good looks for intimidating men and preventing them from striking up a conversation with her. No. I listen, no. It's just the playing field. It's the playing field. That good looks, first of all, It's it's something that can get the ball rolling. It's eye catching, a beautiful face, a nice head of hair. It's eye catching, but it's not really that important. It really isn't. It really isn't, especially if you just feel like trouble. When you weigh out risk and reward, the risk is getting worse and worse. And I know it depends on what circles you're running in, where you're going to meet people. I understand that. I know that there's wonderful men and women out there who, if they could only just brush shoulders, would fall in love, and the rest would be history, and they'd have a wonderful, fruitful family life and everything else. There's a lot of shit in between. Everybody's using it. They're trying to find their own ways of launching their own apps and finding ways to draw themselves together and have to avoid everybody else who's just on the war path. But that's what's going on here. It's difficult being this hot. The single woman told Jam Press, men think I'm too beautiful to date or worry that I'll turn them down. Well, it also depends on what you're doing. I mean, date, a model, whatever, depending on where the model is. Are you an Instagram model, or are you working? Are you like you've been featured in GQ, or you're in a Kohl's magazine or something like that? I don't know. Other women, as explained in this Reddit thread below, blame men for not knowing how to appropriately approach women out in the wild. Quote, I think men, can approach women for non-sexual conversation. Somehow these fools refuse to recognize that we are humans. Wait. I think they can approach women for non-sexual conversation. Somehow these fools refuse to recognize that we're humans with whole lives that we can talk about without going straight to how insert body part is attractive. If they can't have a respectful conversation, then please don't approach. What the fuck are you? I mean, this is a delusional person. This is a delusional person right here. I mean, everybody is thinking, at least in some way, about romance, affection, physical attraction, and hopefully the possibility for where that can all lead. And I'm not talking about just in bed, where it could lead. Could it be tonight is the night that I introduce myself to the person I'll spend the rest of my life with eventually, or whatever the hell it is. This whole reduction of these conversations, like, really, I mean, if you're meeting somebody on an app, and I've seen this, like I friends who are on these dating apps, they'll show me screenshots of what the quick pitch is, and it really is just, most of it is just transactional sex, you know? So, but if you're meeting somebody out, everybody's going to try to mack it to the other person, you know? But other than that, I've never walked up to somebody and just start talking about body parts. That's ridiculous. So everybody's bullshitting because they don't want to be able to, I think, accept the fact that it's getting harder and harder to socialize because of progressive society and how it has destroyed the ability for people to even go out there and be chivalrous. You know, to pick up a check, to hold a door, to, I don't know, get married young, have children. That having children is a virtuous thing. Everything that used to make it pretty easy, where everybody was looking for the same things, and they're looking to set their lives up in a completely different way. That's all been changed by what we were told was a far more liberated society. And meanwhile, it's become impossible for a lot of people to even strike up conversations. And not because we don't know how to talk, but because, again, risk and reward, and sometimes it's just not worth the damn headache. It's hard to decipher what exactly she's saying in the video. This one woman says, a man better pay attention to me tonight. I'm so effing sick of this ass. She said, it's very simple. What does she say? Hold on. Listen, here's what she's saying. Who is this? Some woman in an orange dress.
I better pay attention to me tonight. I'm so fucking sick of this this shit.
Oh my god.
Touch a boob, buy a drink. I mean, it's like very fucking simple.
Touch a boob, buy a drink. You know what? Good. I'm glad she's having a hard time. I love when women like this are starved of attention. I love it. It's essentially like waterboarding them. Like this, I like when they're starved of attention. This one in particular. I'm not talking about you guys. Please remember that. I'm very pro-woman. Love them. I'm in love with a woman. I have a little lady at home now that the first woman I loved, I created. Very pro-woman. But, good. Good. It's crazy. That's why I say it's crazy. Is it really crazy to see men withdraw from a society that hates them? And then when they start withdrawing, we got to hear this shit. Here's a little bit more. 45% of 18 to 24-year-olds have never even approached a girl. That is alarming. That's alarming. And everybody loses. Everybody loses. The liberated, in this conundrum, in this little thing here, we have winners and losers. In the liberated society, we know who has been liberated, and those are supposedly the winners of progressivism. But even the winners are the losers. Because nobody's talking to each other. Everybody's wasting time. And everybody is so, hyped up on their own bullshit that in the end, it's very hard to even come to terms with why this is all happening to us. Why this is all happening to us. Here's some comments. Oh, there's a lot of them here. Wowee. I don't know. Yeah, we'll ask you guys what the hell you think about this. Call in 914-200-0269. Going from the Uber accommodations that really are ridiculous. If you and not the choice, not having choice to be able to get into a car or accept somebody into a car that you're comfortable with. Not that. I think everybody should have that choice. It's the caveats and the privileges that have been carved out just for certain people, once again. And then we start seeing how these things like the no contact orders and one thing after another that affects the way that people just interact with each other and form bonds. It's hard to keep it all separate from each other. 817, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Hey, Frank, this is Cloud9.
Hey, Cloud.
Yeah, I was just going to add to basically the dating strategy, pair bonding, whatever you want to call it. It's really shifted within the past, I would say, decade, really since Instagram, Facebook really became the prominent social media website that it is today, because now you're not just operating from a, town to town basis where you might be in a competition with your next door neighbor to get the girl next door. Oh. Now you're in a competition with 2 states over, and now really just internationally, because essentially the dating marketplace has become more transactional, like you mentioned earlier. So a lot of guys and girls for that matter are struggling with not only maintaining balanced friendships, but what does a healthy relationship look like? If you've got the advent of girls who are doing OnlyFans or really just, revealing a little too much skin for photos in order to earn money, guys are going to take that as, oh, well, she's not going to be long-term relationship material. And it becomes this parasitic relationship where you're paying money to basically get, some side boob action or something along those lines. And you don't really need the interaction of another woman. Or guys are completely checking out of the marketplace altogether. So I think in order to basically remedy the situation, you have to basically learn where to meet new people and how social circle is essentially going to get you long-term relationships. And I'm not just talking about with the opposite sex, but I'm also talking about just in general friendships. And my places would basically just be going to church, number one, finding a good social group there, maybe some small groups that you can kind of monkey branch off and meet new people there, gyms, coffee shops, and then any miscellaneous place, maybe like a grocery store. As trite as that might sound, it's actually it's worked wonders for me, at least in the past. But I'm just curious to know what your thoughts are.
Well, I would throw something else at you and ask you how far you would go, because you brought up OnlyFans, you brought up actual transactions, actual instances where a person will use the internet to show some skin, make a little bit of money, and just get in on this wave that's being ridden, where little small town girls are making $100,000 a month just by showing their cooter, and it's already, people are already hitting a wall. They're starting to realize the consequences. There's so many people freaking out there trying to turn over a new leaf, and they get pissed off when people bring up their past, and of course it's all over the internet. So we're already seeing that.
Well, Frank, if I can interject real quick, Frank, what you're touching upon is something that really the older generations haven't had to experience as much as the younger generations, because, well, the advent of the internet has brought forth a bunch of good, but also a lot of negative. So what we're seeing with with this new generation, essentially with younger millennials and Gen Z, and then going forward, Gen Alpha, is now you're going to have to be basically competing against your, fairer sex, quote unquote, where they can basically show so much in terms of body parts, and then they can make a transaction through that. But the problem with that is now guys respect them less, and in turn you get a lot of these movements like MGTOW, Red Pill, Purple Pill, and it's basically all these different compartmentalized groups where now we have a similar ideology where it's just pertaining to the clicks and the jabs that you might see, the like of which we haven't seen since like the SJW videos, where it's like, all these whores, quote unquote, getting owned. It's a very reminiscent video compilation of 2012, red dyed hair liberal getting owned at a college campus. It's very similar to that. And you can think of any dating show. Go ahead.
No, you're right. You're right. I mean, that's essentially the lifeblood of that whatever podcast.
Yeah. And real quick, just to kind of harken back, traditional dating, going back to maybe like, the quote unquote greatest generation, baby boomers and Gen X, a lot of those relationships really hinged on close familial relationships. Maybe your family knew of another family that had a daughter or son that were single, so they thought it would be a good pair, or it was just through friend groups, right? Through school, through church. But this gets into a deeper problem, which is, where is our community? If community is not based in some similar ideology or religion, in this case, church, you have to really go out of your way to find someone who is like-minded, and at the very least shares some political views. Because I'm sure, Frank, when you started to try to find someone to date, it was very easy to make Lauren the one, because y'all shared very similar views about how you're going to raise children, how proceeding forward, what the main religion was going to be. Maybe not necessarily like in line lockstep with every single conservative ideology, but at the very minimum, at least not being a lefty loony, right? But now it's like you have to have this laundry list of requirements before you can even start considering marriage. And so on the one hand, I think the older generation kind of gets it right when they're saying, well, you're way too stingent, you're way too strict on what you want. But at the same time, though, you have to understand what the younger generations are dealing with when it comes to things like OnlyFans and really the social media landscape.
Well,
but really,
yeah, absolutely. And you know what, Cloud, what a wonderful contribution for to tonight. Thank you for putting that out there. I hope
of course.
That
have a good one, Frank.
Yeah, that puts a lot in frame, and I hope people call in to comment on that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that from the last thing you said. Thanks again for the buzz, because let's be honest here, not a fraction of how many people, how many out of 100 girls or per capita are on OnlyFans. It's a serious problem. There are guys on OnlyFans. So everybody has found a way to, every demographic of person has found a way to inject themselves into economic side of just whoring yourself out. But that's not the biggest hindrance. Obviously, it's a huge hurdle, and it's a non-starter. If you find somebody that is literally selling their body on the internet, I don't know how you can, unless you get off to that, and you never actually possess that person as your. That's just that sounds like hell to me. But it's more so what he said. It's the social media thing. It's men and women. You think about this. You're competing. That was a really interesting thing that he brought up there, where you're competing back even 20 years ago. You're competing against local prospects for the local girl. And now it's just all over the place. And the internet has made 100 miles, 200 miles feel like absolutely nothing. And on top of that, you're also competing against some social elements of social media addiction. That this is across the board. It's not just relegated to females. There's a dopamine element to posting, to getting some sort of validation from either whether it's your opinions, or if you don't really have opinions, but you lean into your looks or whatever the hell else. And it's just a matter of, okay, well, who are you doing this for? Is it for your small circle of friends on Instagram? You only have 12 friends, or are you building up a following? And, who's in your DMs? And, if you meet the one, whether you're a guy or a girl, are you going to start putting some clothes on? Is that really behind you? Are you, what the hell's going on in there? It's something that everybody has to deal with. Social media addiction. I think what has become the norm now, people are hesitant to get into addiction diagnoses, but we're all very, very, very reliant on this to the point of addiction. There's plenty of time that I spend on my phone during the day that I'm sure I can cut out because it's not exactly work related. It usually ends up work related because I find a topic or whatever, and I'm sending myself email all the time. I'm compiling things, but it's just the way of the world. And I just wonder if anybody's ever going to compile a real study on that. So great call from Cloud9. Very great call. I got to play this though. Listen to this. We're talking about dating. We're talking about men and women. We're talking about, I don't know. Here is a scandal in a school, a sex scandal in a school that I'm a little split on. It's between a DARE officer, a DARE cop, okay? A DARE cop who was having sex with a teacher who went for a cop who went for a teacher. And from everything I know about this thing, they were both single. Only problem is they got a little bit too frisky and got down to business in the classroom after school, but still it was after school. The school was mostly empty, whatever the hell it was, but still there was a possibility there could have still been people in the school. And if he's being decertified as a DARE cop, and I'm watching this, I'm going, it's really a testament of where we are right now, where you think about how bad every day it's, teachers preying on students beating up teachers, all that stuff. And here is a DARE officer and a teacher who seem to just be smitten with each other. and it's like, I'm sorry, I'm not too upset about it. Let's listen to this. It's like 2 minutes long. Maybe you guys catch something that I'm not, but it has nothing to do with children. Obviously, he's on duty and they're in a school, so you can't get around that. But I hope they end up together, because it doesn't seem like this was part of any kind of extramarital affair either. Listen to this.
Police officer Brian Gilley once taught elementary students about the dangers of drugs and alcohol as a DARE officer. Now he's at the center of a scandal inside one of those very schools. Here's Gilley at an April decertification hearing pleading his case.
I've impacted so many lives. I know I've done wrong, but I've also have impacted that community in so many ways.
An internal affairs investigation by the Lebanon Police Department found Gilly engaged in sexual activity with Castle Heights Elementary School teacher Shelby Moss inside her classroom.
And I mean, I didn't tease you at all.
You didn't?
You just complain I don't touch you, so you're the one that teases me all night long.
Initially,
I feel bad. It's like, that's like puppy love. So you're teasing me. Again, I don't think that they're married. There's no scandal there. It's just that there's a romance being struck up while she's still in her classroom. There's no children there. But of course, his body cam is on, and this is body cam footage.
Gilly denied any sexual contact while on duty.
And this, of course, is the other issue that he hung himself with. He denied it at first, but obviously he had hooked up with this teacher.
You've not had sexual relations with her while you was on duty?
No, sir.
Period.
But later, Gilly admitted to it. The investigation report says the encounter happened after school hours in September of 2024. But Gilly acknowledged students could have still been present. Fox 17 News obtained body camera footage from August that shows Gilly and Moss kissing. Investigators say Officer Gilly was on duty and in uniform.
Okay.
Investigators called a pre-action hearing. Gilly resigned soon after.
It was a mistake, and it would never happen again because I've been put in this position. I don't want to be here. I have 4 months off, not able to work. I was very embarrassed.
In May, the Tennessee Post Commission voted to decertify Gilly for violating multiple policies. This means Gilly is barred from working in law enforcement in the state.
Oh, come on. It's a school. I understand. It sucks. Because it's not like they're like, come on. It's like it's not lunchtime and he's like dragging her into the broom closet. I don't know. With all the bullshit out there, when I saw this, I was like, man, I wish this was the worst problems we had. I wish this was the worst problems we had. I wish this was the worst news that we were getting out of places like schools. I'm like, come on. I understand. Listen, I worked at a YMCA for like 8 or 9 years. If you were in a room with a camper or whatever, even an adult member sometimes with a closed door, you can just be fired on the spot. Like you could be in a conference room with any child under the age of 18. It doesn't matter how innocent it was, what you were talking about, if you were offering them counsel, if they needed some help. If the door was closed and you were in there, you were fired on the spot. There's no way to even to appeal it. So I understand. It's just unfortunate because it doesn't seem like they're screwing around on a spouse or anything else, anything like that, and they just seem like they got a crush on each other, and it's I feel bad. I really do. What are you gonna do? I got nothing. It's Tennessee. It's up to you guys. Help Officer Gilly. He just wanted to keep kids off drugs, man. He just wanted to keep kids off drugs. All right, let's take a really quick break. When we come back, more of your calls. I got some summertime topics to do with you. Whatever the hell else. I have just whatever. I don't know. Let's do that in just a second. We'll be right back. Oh, and you know what? Why didn't I say this before? I'm going to give away shit tonight. I'm going to give away stuff tonight. Where the hell? What did I think I was going to do? Oh, first of all, I'm going to give away a full bag of Keto Brainz. The first prize is going to be a full bag of Keto Brainz. I'm going to take you a Polaroid. I'll have all my clothes on. I'm going to give you a full bag of Keto Brainz, Polaroid, stickers, all that stuff. The second prize, you're going to get a bag of, Quite Frankly, Elevation Blend coffee, Keto Brainz samples, so you can mix the two. You know what? I'm going to give you the first prize will be Keto Brainz and sample of the coffee, because this is a $50 bag of product. And then the second one will be a bag of the coffee, which is about $20. and Keto Brain samples. How does that sound? Balance, yin and yang. That's what I'll do. I'm giving that away tonight, and there'll be stickers and Polaroids and all that stuff. We'll throw it all in together and have a good time. So that's just with Super Chats on YouTube, Rumble, the Gold Pills, quitefranklysuperchat.com. Remember, quitefranklysuperchat.com is 100% toward the show. So it doesn't matter. Wherever you throw in, and I'm really appreciative of the support because we are in growing phases right now and still transforming on a business level. So there you go. I'll be checking that out in just a second. So thank you to our wonderful friends, Molly at Keto Brainz. I know a bunch of you jumped on the peptide, the BPC 157. So just love it. Transform your mind, my friends. Transform your day with this. In fact, I've got a second one iced right in here in my Contigo. It's iced. Feeling great. My mind is electrified. I'm feeling good tonight. Around 8:30 or so, I have a production hand, an old production hand. He's a grown man now, and he's doing all great things. He actually helps Anthony with some of the production of his 10-second songs releases and stuff. I said, Danelle, you got to come by. I need help with the broadcast room. I want you to be able to look at the quality of the camera feeds. I don't have the best cameras in there, but they're at least 1080. And how can you help me get the best color and balance and everything in this room? So I'm going to get consultation to try to figure out how we can make the best with the low light and but to clear up and kind of sharpen up the cameras a little bit more. So that'll be something we absolutely need. And I'm excited about that. I really am. I like production changes. I like getting answers for shit that I didn't have before. All right, real quick intermission. We'll be right back. I've got some questions. I got some things to throw out there about just some chaotic energy that's going on in the world right now and in my personal life. And I want to know if anybody out there is feeling the same thing. Don't go anywhere because your calls are going to be absolutely necessary.
All right, you alien assholes. In the words of my generation, up yours!
Don't worry, film clubbers. Don't worry, film clubbers. We will be watching Whiplash together. I have some announcements to make on programming changes coming up in August. You guys, I can't wait to launch all these new things to balance out the show, including after hours, not after hours, extra innings, where whenever we end at 9 o'clock, the show continues for a few minutes more on pilled.net. That's going to be coming starting in August. It's going to be great. It's going to be at least another half hour of nothing but direct interaction with the chat room, using all of Pilled's calling features, reading your gold pills, and of course extending time with it, whatever featured guests we have that night or whatever. The other thing is going to be this. I'm thinking about making at least a good portion of all of our film clubs public. Book club, it's just too good to make it anything other than an exclusive gift for the people who are supporting me monthly through quitefrankly.tv/sponsor. But film club, I think that I'd love to do a lot more public film club. You know, and hopefully, because it's a lot easier to watch a movie and come and talk about it, perhaps people will say, you know what, I think I'll take the plunge and I'll read a book as well. Hell, it's only 4 times the amount of involvement. It's every Monday for a month instead of one Monday. Excuse me, the Dixie Cups? Anyway, well, that was at the Shirelles. Anyway, I just really I would love to watch Whiplash with you all. Hey, speaking of music, Phil Collins. This is what I wanted to bring up before. I don't know if this is real or if it's just one of those things that is going around as a rumor, but I heard that Phil Collins, who has been in bad health for a while, is in hospice care. It might be a rumor. I don't know, but I got to throw it out there. What the hell is in the air right now? Something is in the air, and it's definitely been building for weeks. Because it's not even just what happened this week with Ozzy and Hulk Hogan, but you got, Connie Francis, again, 87 years old. What you can do, live forever? This news about Phil Collins, the Cosby Kid. But there's just so many things going on in my personal life. I'm not going to dump on you guys about this. But I wonder about you. What is it the same with you? I had my friend that died, buried on his 40th birthday back in June, pancreas. A few weeks ago, my neighbor told me that she received an unwelcome diagnosis. She's like family. She's 86 years old. Started treatment this week. I pushed every phone number I had into her children's hands, but ultimately it's just not my place. So I'm just praying and helping however I'm asked to help. And last night, my mother got in touch with me during the show. Tony Black is in the hospital. Now, thankfully, it looks like it's just dehydration. He's still there today. Hopefully he gets out tomorrow. We'll see. But when I got home last night, I pulled up to my house. I got out. I see my neighbors out on her front porch with their children who are like staying with her in shifts at this point just to make sure she's all provided for. So I waltzed over, see how everybody's doing. As I'm doing that, I realize I get word that my mother and father and whoever else are rushing over to the hospital because my aunt broke her hip, fell down, broke her hip, and I said, "What the hell is going on?" Last night I got inside the house last night, and I told Lauren about what had just happened with my aunt. And I told her, I said, "Laura, I'm telling you, I want to collect everyone I know right now. We're in one of those phases right now, cosmically, where I want to grab everybody I know, sit them down in a large padded room, and just batten down the hatches for the duration of whatever the hell this is. I'll have filtered water. I'll plan out a very uncomplicated menu of clean, nutritious food, mostly eggs, cheddar cheese omelets for 2 weeks. That's all it's going to be. I don't know. Nothing exotic, no seafood, no oysters. But nobody's leaving this damn room until whatever this shit is works itself out. What the hell's happening?" That's the way I feel right now. You know those stretches. You guys, know those stretches. You might be having one right now. Obviously, you sit back and you look at the world, and that's all news that we're collectively taking in. It's like, wow, a little bit of a stretch where people are just dropping like flies. But then when it couples up with chaos in your personal life, you say, wow, there just must be something in the air. Is the phase of the moon? Which planet is in retrograde? I don't know. But let me know if that rings a bell with you at all. You can give me a call. It doesn't have to all be about dating and stuff like that tonight. I just thought the Uber thing led to a couple of other little stories. Here are some super chats. Let's get to some super chats. Hey, Frank, tomorrow is my boy's 13th birthday. I was wondering if you can give him a happy birthday shout out. His name is Carl. Carl, good to see you. What's that from? If you know what that is, good for you. The Billy Madison. By the way, Happy Gilmore 2 just came out today. I sat down for lunch. Made myself a bowl of tuna fish, skipjack tuna fish. Sat down, cut up a nice hot pepper, a couple of slices of cheese, some cottage cheese, whatever the hell. I said, all right, well, I got about 25 minutes I can spare. Holy shit. Happy Gilmore 2 was posted today. I thought that was going to come out over the weekend. So I pressed play and said, I'm just going to sneak in a couple of minutes. And if everybody wants to watch it as a group, I'll just watch it from the beginning. I don't care. I don't know what the hell I was expecting, but I don't know. First 20 minutes was not very impressive. I didn't expect it to come anywhere near the first one. That's ridiculous. But I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what I read. I watched the entire thing. But Carl, this is about you. And I hope you have a wonderful 13th birthday. That's a big one, man. You're officially a teenager. You know, we were all so excited to become a teenager when we were all 11 and 12 years old. We started calling ourselves preteens. We're preteens, Ma. We're not necessarily there, but once we are teenagers, then it's something legitimate. You need to give us our due. I bet you feel pretty powerful tonight, don't you, Carl? Well, guess what? You're not. Your dad is still in charge, and he can twist you into a pretzel right now if he wanted to, so you better watch out. Happy birthday, by the way. So thank you, Paul. Jared says, I am getting so excited for September. I'm stoked to hear others from Oregon will be representing. See you there, Franklies. Oh, yeah. I can't believe how many Oregonians are going to be there. Larry Whitaker says, what worked for me was working in another country. I met someone on the plane 7 years ago. By the way, thanks for the shout out a few years back during a paranormal show. Keep up the great work. I don't remember the shout out, Larry, but I remember your name. Jay Britt says, Uber should give women the option for bears over men. What about men in bear costumes? Bullish Brown says, so there is an option for non-trans? No. Trans are women. That's the whole point here. Tyler Rubel says, get Ryan Dawson on the show. I mean, how many times have I got to tell you? I've tried at least half a dozen times over the years. And if I had a topic that I was really, really wanted to cover, that I knew that he'd be perfect for, I would try again. So I like, I've seen him, I've observed his work for a long, long time. He's been out there for a while. Anyway, let's see here. Let's see. Shotzi says, have a great weekend, Frank and Franklies. And there you go. Okay, over on Rumble. Jay Semmel says, happy Friday, Frank, and have a great weekend. Same to you, my friend. Same to you. Let's see here. Haywood says, you can say welcome aboard and want some. Let's see, have an individual. What are you talking about? I always have to pre-read what Haywood says because lately he's been getting a little bit out of hand, to be honest. It's bait, Frank. Now they'll all say I was following Obama's orders, thinking he'll be able to use immunity and end up telling themselves in both Bathhouse Barry at the same time. Well, I mean, that's why I want to look into it, because there's no comparing, even just from a surface view, Haywood, what immunity Trump had over the issues that they were trying to crucify him with versus what is being revealed right now by Tulsi Gabbard and what we are rehashing from 2016 and 17. There's no comparing the two. So I wonder, is he prodding Obama? It's not serious, is it? Because there's a clear difference between what the hell was going on here. Grandma Grateful says there is no immunity for treason. No, there definitely isn't. Dan Schumann, with a very generous giving over there on Rumble, says, can you please play Bittersweet Symphony from the Verve for me tonight, anywhere in the show, and I challenge anyone to top me in my rant. If you do, I'll double it. Well, I'll see what I can do. If we can get another break in, then I'd love to try. I really would. Okay, here's another one for you. This one is from Sebastian. Says, hi, Frank. I was too late to call in with my Aussie story, so I'll share it now in case you can't sleep tonight and decide to check your email. 1991 or 1992, I did camera optics at LA, which is in Ozzy's case, to translate the original artwork to film, which would be projected behind the band on stage before digital. My boss and I were invited to the soundstage to test run the visuals with the band. I was sitting on the floor in front of the soundboard in front of the soundboard guy, right in front of the stage. The band started to play War Pigs, but Ozzy wasn't on stage yet. There were maybe 10 people there, including us, plus the band on stage. So I was looking around to see if Ozzy was even there, and in the wings, I saw him doing push-ups like a champion. Skinny, shirtless, stringy long hair, and then he ran out on stage and took the mic. It was so loud and just so mind-blowing. I was 25 years old. That's an awesome thing to have witnessed, Sebastian. And with that, I actually have something to show you. This is from Dylan Novak. He's telling a story because, of course, like I said, the state of Ozzy Osbourne and who he was and what he projected to the world, and whether or not he's paying a very serious price in the hereafter right now has been I don't know, I guess not beyond some people's pay grade on this earthly plane. Some people know exactly what's going on in heaven, apparently. But take a listen to this. I thought this was a really interesting story, and I wanted to share it just as we wrap up this week where the very startling news was broken. Hold on.
Gospel with Ozzy Osbourne. Everybody's been talking about...
Hold on. Do it one more time so you hear from the beginning.
I was able to share the gospel with Ozzy Osbourne. Everybody's been talking about Ozzy this past weekend where he just had his final performance in London, so I figured this would be a great opportunity to share with you guys how I was able to share Jesus with the entire Osbourne family. So if you would like to hear how the Prince of Darkness responded to the gospel and his name being on the Bible, let's jump in. Couldn't resist. For time's sake, I'm not going to be able to share the story of each individual family member, but the story, the original post, is pinned at the top of my page if you would like to see. Here's a picture of Ozzy's Bible. Again, thank you to everybody who sponsors these Bibles to make it possible now for us to be able to give these personalized Bibles to everybody. Now, Ozzy had said in an interview with The Guardian that he considers himself to be a Christian more than anything else, and that he really wishes he could read the Bible, but it's written in a language that he can't understand. So I got him this New Believers Translation. It's an NLT Bible, in hopes that this would possibly make Ozzy be able to read the Word of God in a much easier way. Ozzy was very personal with people. He took his time talking. Of course, I thanked him for all of the memories, all of the music he's given the world through the years. And I told him the reason I came to meet him, though, was because I love and care about him and his soul. I'd read that interview with him in The Guardian, and that I wanted to give him this Bible to hopefully help him with his walk with Christ. At first, he said, I'm still not going to be able to understand it, and I explained to him and showed him that it was a modern English translation. I opened it up, he grabbed it, he started thumbing through it, he immediately went to the Gospels, and he said, I can understand this, thank you. And at first I thought that this was all I was going to know this side of heaven, how he responded to God's Word, but that was not the case. 2 weeks after the event, I was in Lexington, Kentucky, and Jack Osbourne was also at this show. Now, I didn't want it to seem that I was shoving my beliefs down their throats and showing up at every appearance that Jack attended, because I had a very lengthy conversation with Jack. But he walked out from his booth to me and said, excuse me, weren't you in Philadelphia last week? I think I recognized the back of your jacket, which you see here. Jack went on to say, you have no idea what that meant to my dad. My dad gets a lot of gifts, a lot that he doesn't even take home, but that Bible meant more to him than you'll ever know. He had us unlock the entire convention floor to go back and get his Bible, to get the whole material, the whole letter and everything. And he said, you can imagine the surprise on people's faces when the Prince of Darkness was saying, I want the Bible with my name on it. The next day at lunch, Ozzy brought it up, and he said, our entire family was talking about how you gave us all individual gifts modeled around what we believe, and it meant so much to us as a family. So join me in praying for the Osbourne family. Pray to see the entire family come to know and accept Christ as their personal Lord and Savior.
So I thought that was a really great testimony. It's a whole bunch of stuff up in the air. Hey, listen, the career is the career. The impact on the culture is there. There's so many things to be said about his work and whatever. But, because of, like I said last night, I believe I used the phrase, the ghoulishness of his brand, the delightful ghoulishness of his brand, it made a lot of people wonder, okay, well, you spent 50 years projecting that kind of like the darkness, or at least putting that kind of that imagery out into the world. Is there a price to be paid there? Is performance ever really just performance? And like I said, some people have taken some form of personal delight in guaranteeing where his soul is right now. But I really like this, and I thought it was interesting, and it is worthy of playing on the show, because obviously we're not going to talk about this for weeks and weeks and weeks, but it's Friday night. Oh my. What do we got here? Okay, let's take a call. 845, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Hey, Frank.
Hey.
How are you?
I'm doing well.
This is Nina Rocks.
Welcome, Nina. How are you?
Not so good.
Nina, I've left you. I feel like did I leave you 2 voicemails now?
I only got one, and I had emailed you back to let you know that, of course, my phone was on DND, so I'm sorry about that. But I was moved into the hospice house on Monday, so things are progressing rather quickly. Like I said, I don't want to bring the show down because this is not all about me, but with Ozzy passing and knowing he accepted Christ as his Savior, which I just did. I was baptized in December, so I'm ready to go home, but there's a lot of people coming from all over the country to see me, so I need to try and keep it together, Frank, for another month at least. But I wanted to let you know that this show and your family has given me great comfort, and I'm very sorry. I'm trying not to be emotional, but it's very emotional. I love you guys. I love all the Franklies, and I'm going to miss you all. But just know I'm going home to my Savior, and I can't wait. And I thank you for everything, for every I can't tell you how many times you and you have made me laugh to the point where I couldn't breathe anymore. I love that. Your laugh is infectious. You're doing something wonderful. I pray to God he doubles and triples it. I love the show. I love your family. And I just wanted to let you know that.
Well, I love you, and the honor's been all mine, Nina. It's been all mine. It really has been. I don't know what else. I don't know what else to say. There's plenty. I'd like to. I'm going to make another attempt at calling you so you and I can talk. And I like I said, I've gotten the voice. You said, hey, I don't. My phone's not on before 10 a.m. So I called at like 1 p.m. the next day, and I'll keep trying. And you and I will.
I think we'll
talk.
We'll talk. In crisis mode since Friday. I started coughing blood. So it gets a little panicky on the family end here. I tried not to say anything because my sister's birthday was Sunday, but I casually mentioned it at dinner, and then the next day she called hospice, and by the time they got to the house, I was in full blown crisis, and they moved me here as soon as they could.
Well,
so I am now at the Hudson Valley Hospice House, which is an incredible people, incredible facility. And I'm just trying to keep it all together, Frank,
Well, Nina, you sound, I mean, I don't know what it took for you to work up the strength to call tonight, but you sound like you're in good spirits. You sound, I feel very good energy coming from you. And of course you're in an advanced state of contemplation of all things. And trust me, it's not going to be, it'll be us missing you. You're waiting on us, and
I know.
It's it won't be the other way around. That's for sure. But I give you a lot of credit even just for calling in tonight. I was really looking forward to, and I still am looking forward to talking to you off air. But I really am. I'm happy you got through tonight. I really am.
Okay. I mean, yeah, because sometimes when it comes up private number, because of course I owe bills to everybody in the world, and even when I tell them I'm a hospice, they don't really care. So they're calling from private numbers and numbers I don't know and all this. So I know you come up as a private number, so I will answer all my private numbers that come in now.
Well,
and I lowered the do not disturb till 9 a.m. So.
Oh, okay. Well, you know what I'll do? I'll call you. I was calling you from Google Voice, so what I'll do is I'll call you from my cell phone. So just look for a 914 number. It'll be me.
Okay, absolutely. I will do that.
So, I mean, you've already said a lot, and you've probably left an impact on this show that'll be felt for all years to come. But if there's anything else you ever want to put out there, as long as you are in the mood to call in, please just don't hesitate. Call in and be a part of all the shows that you can.
I'll try. I will try.
All right.
Thank
Nina.
you so much again. And like I said, you and Matt together, that makes my whole day. When Matt is on, I can't stop laughing from the minute you guys get together. I mean, to the point where I can't breathe anymore.
Okay. So then, all right. So then here's
but it's worth it. It's worth it.
All right. Well, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to try to suffocate you in a couple of minutes. All right.
Okay. Thank you.
So
I appreciate that.
I'm going to try to suffocate you in a couple of minutes. I'm just going to change my trajectory for a little bit. I'm going to dig through my Matt file, and I'm just going to try to find things from him and put it on the screen and do a little bit of a reminiscing because he's in Chicago tonight. So he's not. Yeah, he's not. That's why he's not here. But he'll be back in a week or two. So I'll rush him back. Maybe I can get him back on the show on either Monday or Tuesday. Who the hell knows?
Okay, that sounds great.
All right, Nina. Listen, you just stay up and be confident and stay in touch. Okay, and I'll talk to you this weekend.
I will, and you hug that little girl for me. She is so precious. God bless her, and your wife too. God bless you all. I wish nothing but the best for you.
Okay, I'll give them extra hard squeezes. Thank you, Nina.
Thank you. Have a good night, Frank.
Okay, take care.
Good night, Franklies.
Good night. Well, what are we going to do? What are we going to do for a little while? What are we going to do? Okay. All right, let me get into my media here. There's got to be some stuff. Matt files. I'll just throw some shit up. Who the hell knows? If she wants a little hit of Matt tonight, then fine, we'll do that. I got Matt throughout the time traveling. I know Nina maybe she remembers some of these, but Matt, very intriguing. All the things that Matt used to show us. For example, these are real pictures right here. That one's Matt with his squad during the Civil War. He's been all places. He's done a lot of interesting things. Here's Matt serving his country, getting some final encouragement from Dwight Eisenhower. See him right there in the back, Nina. You see him there? Matt was also there for some very tumultuous times during the civil rights era. Here he is, Matt, when the schools were being integrated by force in the South. Matt was the only one in the background with a smile. Look at, there's a lot of people sneering. Matt is the only one in the background over there who seems to be happy that progress was being made. See, good. I don't know how the hell he does it every time, but he's always in the right place at the right time. Here's Matt with President Reagan. He served as an advisor of his for a while, as he was for Kennedy. So there's good stuff. Of course, very happy ringside with Muhammad Ali. History being made there in the ring. But, there's a lot of things. I can give you some of the other stuff. Here's Matt on ring cam.
I'm gay. I'm gay. Very gay. I'm gay.
What the hell's going on here?
I'm gay. I'm gay.
Now imagine you Nina, you go to your ring cam and somebody's there. You said, what the hell's going on? And you see this face incessantly trying to push his gayness on you. Very, very unsettling day for me when I saw that. Oh no, there's so many other ones. I'm just trying to throw some things together. What I will do is I'll make sure that Matt comes on the show soon. And I'll talk to him and say, hey, what are you doing on Monday? What are you doing on Tuesday? Just a little bit. Matt throughout the years. I love the aged Matt. I love the old ones. Matt always, I love the older that Matt ages himself in all these pictures, that he looks more and more discombobulated mentally. You could actually see a little bit less life and sharpness in his eyes. There's a little bit less sharpness there. You can tell he's a little bit more just out of it. Whereas if you roll back time, just maybe 10 years to where he's just in his late 70s or something like that, he seems pretty joyous. You know, he's there. He's at the old, not the old folks home, but maybe just town hall. You know, there's just elderly programs set up. It's a dessert day, and he likes desserts. He likes cakes and cookies and cupcakes. There you go. He's a very jolly old man. Here he is. One of his favorite books by Scott Adams, Random Acts of Management. That's Matt. Here's Matt with in about his mid-50s or so with St. John Bosco. There you go. I don't know. There's just a lot we can do. And I'm happy to do it all on the fly, just a little bit of a taste of something, this or that. All right, so now I'm all, what do I do now? Because I got to put all these names in. You know what I'm going to, okay. All right. I have a lot less time now to put all these names into the name picker. But I have them all logged. And what I can do is, as soon as we cut it off, I'll collect all of the gold pills. I'll collect all of the Rumble rants. And I'll collect all of the YouTubes and the Super Chats from quitefranklysuperchat.com. And I promise you all, I will announce the first place winners and the second place winner on Monday. I can't do this right here and just have you guys, let me just take a call. Let me see if I can actually do this, because I have to get off in about 5 minutes. My one of my production hands is going to be here very, very soon. I don't want him to wait outside because the building is locked. All right, let's see here. Sandy?
Yeah.
Sandy,
Hi.
how are you, Sandy?
I'm great. What's going on?
Oh, I don't know. What's going on with you?
Well, I'm supposed to be calling quite frankly.
Are you?
Indeed.
What is the topic tonight?
It was about dating. I wanted to tell him about dating in 1975.
Okay, 1 second. Let me go get him. Oh. Sandy?
Yes?
Stubbed my toe running over here. How are you? Welcome to the show. You have a dating from 1975, you said?
You bet.
It must have been a lot easier. Must have been a lot easier, huh? You know what I think about?
No, it wasn't.
Really, it wasn't?
It was worse. It was the same.
The same? How?
Okay, so 1975, I was 21, friend and I wanted to go out dancing. I love to dance, Southern California. And I go to a bar with her that is with a live band. And so what happens is it's ladies' night, so drinks are $1. I know that's hard for you to understand, but back in the day, drinks were $1 for what ladies. Guys would come up to me and they'd hit on me and they'd say, I just wanted to dance. And they'd say, hey, do you want to go outside? And I think, frick, you don't even want to buy me a $1 drink and you think I'm going to go out and screw you out in the parking lot.
Oh,
I mean,
Well, I mean, yeah, okay. I get it. Well, I wasn't going to try to make the I wasn't trying to assume that we are not, that people don't want to get busy. I mean, we're dogs. We'd want to, and if it wasn't for the moderation of respectable women like you, the whole world, it would have unraveled itself a lot sooner. I mean, you ladies are pretty much like a guardrail against our worst inclinations. I mean, we need to be raised well. I mean, there's responsible there. Father's got to impart good morals and ethics onto their young boys. But I mean, the guardrail is usually women, because we can't. Yeah, there's a lot that we're always thinking about there. No doubt, that's not going to change.
This guy thinks I'm going to go outside with him for the price of $1. I'm thinking, I just want to dance.
Well,
you know?
Yeah, I know. Listen, okay, so it hasn't changed in that respect, but you know that it's a completely different world when you add the digital aspect to it and how people are getting on in that way. If nothing else, it has put a magnifying glass on our worst inclinations and has made it a lot harder to navigate, especially since it's also so digi crazy right now. The other thing there too, Sandy, is I don't know. Was it fun at least, do you think? When you call and you say 1975 dating, it was still crazy. I think of like Mungo Jerry in the summertime, just driving.
It was.
Okay.
It was. But the thing is, it was still the same. I mean, everybody's out for you know what. And I have to tell you, okay, so my birthday is April 2nd, and so is my sister's.
That's mine.
We're not twins. We're 4 years apart. I always miss your birthday show because it's my birthday too. And I have a granddaughter who is 13, and her name is Aurora.
Wow. Well, we got a lot of synchronicity.
Yes, we do. So, hey, the other thing that's funny is, so I was in 75, I was dating my future husband. We went out on a date, and he took me to a nice restaurant. And at the end of the evening, he was outraged. And he said, "You mean I spent all that money on a dinner and you're not willing to?" And I went, "Wait, she's full of shit."
I hear him back there, my man.
Like I'm a prostitute. You think that a prostitute at least sets up the dollar value of what she's going to do.
And yet, look at you all these years later.
Well, we've been married almost 50 years.
See?
Yeah.
See? So what? He was hungry for you. That doesn't mean he didn't want to put a ring on it.
We got over the hump.
Yeah.
Let's just say.
Well, thank you. Sandy, thank you. This is going to be the last call tonight. I'm glad. It was a very, very good call, and thank you for it. And all the best to your husband over there, too.
Well, God bless you and your lovely wife and your daughter, Aurora.
You're our after dinner drink.
Yes, you're on at dinner time, so we don't often call.
Well, hey, it was great that you got through tonight, and I'm sorry I got to end a little bit sooner tonight than usual, but I said I have a little bit of a studio production meeting that is about to go on right now, and again, I have to speed through these super chats. I will compile them. I will I will read off all the names as well, so you know that all the names have been put in there. I'll do that on Monday. We'll give out all these. Maybe I'll even find a third place prize for you. I'll add a third place, and I'll surprise you with that on Monday. Okay, that's what I'll do for having to cut out early and having things kind of shift around. But either way, here we go. Kobe Shumway, thank you so much. It's so candy, says God bless sweet Nina. Indeed. I'll be thinking about Nina all night, and I'll be finding a way to get her on the phone soon. Steve Robbins says hospice workers are angels from above. Bullish Brown says we love you, Nina. God bless. Joe Martinez, thank you. Larry Whitaker says, take a look at Alice Cooper. Once he came back around, he used his fame to also proclaim his unabashed faith in God. Absolutely. Yes. Mary B says, we love you, Nina, and pray for as many extra days as possible on this earth. When the Lord calls you home, we pray it's peaceful. indeed. Yes. I can't say how moving that was, and the things like that happen on this show you can't expect, and when you do, you just have to let it wash over you. Grandma Grateful says, well, I read that Jesus took the thief at the cross of heaven with him. It's never too late for that repentance stuff. When you talk about Ozzy? Okay. And over there on Pilled, Safety Net, Daily Insanity. Thank you. Winston Dave, honestly, Frank, should I win, I'd rather have a bag of coffee and the Keto Brainz sampler. Thank you. Well, I'm going to make sure that everything has some coffee and Keto Brainz, so don't worry about that. But, you know, beggars can't be choosers here. Winners can't be choosers either. Not that you're a beggar. I'm the one receiving the money. Stephen and Lori says, we know personally, old folks don't bounce. Thank you, Delona, so much. Stove with the cookies. And that's it. Have a great weekend, Frank and Franklies. That's from Stove. I'm going to release the scratching right now. I've got to hightail it out of here because I don't want my buddy to be just sitting out there on the pavement forever. You guys have been wonderful. Thank you so much. And I will see you on Monday. Keep an eye out for just notifications from YouTube or something like that over the weekend. I pop in every once in a while. We'll have a cigar. We'll talk a little bit. Maybe while I'm sitting at the grill or something. And I hope that the weather is good where you are. Also, I might just pop on Twitch. You know, play a baseball game. Call of Duty. Who the hell knows? But it'll be with you guys in tow. So good night. Thank you for everything. And God bless.
I'll catch you on the flip side.
Quite Frankly's film before a live studio audience, wherever you are, is the studio. Thank you so much. And thank you to our super chatters. You keep the show alive and well along with all of our monthly sponsors. Please become a monthly sponsor at quitefrankly.tv/sponsors. Even $5 a month, it goes a long way. Even 1% of the audience coming on can help us go leaping and bounding into the future. I appreciate you guys. Go and grab tickets for the Jamboree. There's still some left. I'll have really exciting announcements on that next week. Thank you to Mary B, Kobe, It's So Candy, Steve Robinson, Bullish Brown, Joe Martinez, Larry Whitaker, Paul, Jared, Larry Whitaker again, Jay Britz, Bullish Brown, and Tyler Rubel, not to be outdone by Shotzi, and all of our Rumble Ranters and Gold Pillars. All love ya.
Goodbye.
All right, that's it. Thanks, everybody.